Missed by 8 Inches, authored by Lionel D'Souza. This is one such tale, a saga of two friends from a remote Indian town, whose journey takes them far beyond the familiar, into the very heart of a war zone, managing the facilities of the U.S. Army in war zones. The narrative centers around the tragic demise of one friend, with the other wrongfully accused of leading him into the war zone, resulting in his untimely death and being unjustly labeled. This is not just a story of loss and accusation, but a testament to the unyielding strength of friendship. It is about the kind of bond that endures the harshest of realities, supports and uplifts even in the face of adversity. This tale is a tribute to the moments of solidarity, the laughter shared in brief respites from danger, and the memories that become lifelines in the darkest of times. It is dedicated to all those who work in war zones without any weapons to defend themselves, to the army contractors who sacrifice their lives to the tough jobs at the war base, holding their hearts on a thread. It is for those unsung warriors, whose stories of valor and sacrifice often go untold. In the pages that follow, you will journey with these two friends through the trials and tribulations of war, witness the strength of their bond, and feel the weight of their sacrifices. This is their story, a story of friendship, courage, and the indomitable human spirit. Please watch the previous chapters to help better understand Chapter 4. A brief recap of Chapter 1 cricket match introduces the narrator and his 6 Indian colleagues working in Saudi Arabia. A cricket match in no man's land sets the tone for camaraderie, cultural clashes, and the narrator's bond with childhood friend Andrew. A brief recap of Chapter 2 First Time, Pact Broken. A flashback to school days in India. The narrator and Andrew plan a prank that goes wrong. Andrew breaks their pact, foreshadowing future betrayals and the complexity of their friendship. A brief recap of Chapter 3 Entry to Saudi Arabia. The narrator's chaotic first entry into Saudi Arabia, including a customs ordeal involving religious items and pork. He's helped by a kind customs officer, Mark G., highlighting themes of fear, faith, and unexpected kindness. We are now moving to Chapter 4, titled Second Time, Pact Broken from Missed by 8 Inches, authored by Lionel D'Souza. After 6 months in Saudi, I frequently recalled my promise to Andrew. One day, I decided to approach Uncle Hillary for a conversation. By then, I had proven myself as a competent bookkeeper, earning respect for my impeccable work. My dedication, diligence, and flawless performance, coupled with my expertise in computers and exclusive knowledge of Excel formulas, had established my reputation. I never made excuses, took holidays, or had any work escalations, which solidified my standing in the workplace. Uncle Hillary's room was spacious, nearly 5 times the size of mine. Having resided in Saudi for 2 decades, he had a long tenure ahead and had also established substantial wealth in India. His room housed 3 single-seater sofas, and he invited me to sit on any of them. I chose one and politely declined his offer for a drink with a "No, thank you." He then took a seat opposite me and inquired about the purpose of my visit. I conveyed to Uncle Hillary that I had a friend, Andrew, who had completed his B.Com and was employed at a private firm in South India. Aware that Uncle was seeking a personal secretary for the managing director, I saw it as an opportune moment to recommend Andrew. Uncle Hillary inquired if Andrew was prepared to undertake the responsibilities I had before my arrival, and also requested a payment of 50,000 Indian rupees from Andrew. Knowing Andrew's financial constraints, I proposed a solution to Uncle Hillary. The expenses could be deducted from my salary over 10 months as reimbursement for facilitating Andrew's move abroad. Uncle Hillary consented to this arrangement and requested Andrew's CV. The following day, I reached out to Andrew to inform him about the arrangement and mentioned that I would cover the costs from my salary, but he would need to secure his own flight ticket. Andrew said he would discuss it with his family and get back to me. Upon following up, Andrew confirmed that after speaking with his parents, they agreed to the terms. I then prepared to draft Andrew's CV for Uncle Hillary to initiate the visa process. I urged Andrew to send his passport copy to me via post promptly, as the internet and email services were not available at that time. After completing our pre-university education, Andrew and I were inseparable. We shared countless moments playing, causing mischief, and spending ample time together. I played musical instruments at wedding parties, where Andrew, having no specific tasks, would assist me as my sound technician. I would always find some role for him within the band. During our free evenings, we would seek out various forms of entertainment to amuse ourselves. Upon completing my 12th standard, my father bought me a Yamaha RX 100 with the stipulation that I would pay for the fuel with my own earnings. Consequently, I was responsible for refueling my bike. Motorcycles have a reserve fuel option that allows for a limited range of travel when the main tank is depleted. Andrew and I often visited a nearby bird sanctuary in the evenings to observe various bird species. This sanctuary, located in Manipal, was affectionately known as End Point. Manipal is renowned for its prestigious institutions, the Manipal Institute of Technology, MIT, and the Kasturba Medical College, KMC. Describing End Point further, it is a 4-kilometer stretch of road culminating at a steep hill, resembling a tabletop runway. The road has a single entry and that leads to the same exit. At the road end lies a deep valley. You are bound to return back as there is no thought of jumping into, as there is no survival once attempted. Around 6:30 p.m., individuals from both MIT and KMC, particularly those who are not local, begin their activities on the tabletop runway. Some engage in exercise, some couples enjoy a romantic walk, others take leisurely strolls, and then there are those like Andrew and me who walk to observe these different kinds of birds. The agreement between Andrew and me was simple. One of us would ride the bike while the other sat as the pillion rider. We would seek out the most striking individuals, females, approach them on the bike, and the pillion rider would then playfully hit them on the back. The startled exclamation that followed, "H," was a source of amusement for us both. This mischievous game had become our specialty, and we had honed our skills to a fine art. We weren't the only ones engaging in this activity, but we were the most consistent, always arriving at the same spot, right on schedule. One day, Andrew and I were sitting on the curb when a group of 5 individuals passed by. We exchanged glances, sharing the same thought without a word. They would walk to the end of the road and back, giving us time to decide our roles. We tossed a coin to choose who would ride the bike and who would play our little game. The coin landed on tails, and Andrew chose to be the one to playfully hit, leaving me to ride the bike. After waiting for over 20 minutes and strategizing, we agreed on the plan. I would approach closely, and upon hearing the startled H, we'd quickly accelerate away. There were 5 individuals in total. Once they reached the end of the road and turned back, we gave them some space before beginning our ride. And so, the act commenced. I revved up the bike, with Andrew taking his place behind me. We were all set to carry out our little prank, moving slowly to the end of the road to avoid arousing suspicion among the other pedestrians, including the elderly. Reaching the end of the road at a crawl, I paused to ensure the coast was clear. With the bike idling, I revved the engine once, expressing my discomfort to Andrew, who only grinned and teased, "It's my turn to slap today. Is that why you're uncomfortable?" With no real choice left, I resigned myself to proceed with the act. We embarked from the road's end, inching towards the individuals who appeared to be students from North India, studying MBBS at KMC. Despite the nagging fear in my mind, I refrained from halting our prank, not wanting to disappoint Andrew. As we closed in to about 15 meters, Andrew readied his left hand, since they were on the left side of the road. Nearing a 10-meter distance, my heartbeat became noticeable for the first time. I thought fleetingly of a deity, but knowing such acts wouldn't garner divine favor, I quickly dismissed the thought. We were just 5 meters away, cruising at 20 km/h, when Andrew, poised for action, raised his hand. The bike, a gleaming red Yamaha with chrome rims that I meticulously cleaned daily, wobbled slightly. As we passed by, Andrew's hand swung down in a slap that resounded with a series of ah-echoes. It was my cue to speed away, but just as we were 15 steps past, the bike stalled. Panic set in as the individual we startled realized what happened and seemed ready to confront us. Andrew's urgent cries to start the bike filled the air, but despite my frantic attempts, the bike refused to start. The distance closed rapidly, with only 7 steps separating us from a potentially furious confrontation. At that moment, I realized the bike had been running on reserve for the past 3 days, and the fuel tank was now empty, rendering it unable to start. I yelled to Andrew that we were out of fuel. His next move was disheartening. He quickly assessed the safest escape route and dashed off like a startled animal. He never even looked back to see what happened to me. Left with no option to flee, as it was my bike, I soon felt hands grabbing my shirt and collar, dragging me away from the bike. I was surrounded, with about 10 hands from all directions, landing blows on every part of my body. I couldn't abandon my bike, so I endured the beating. I attempted to plead with the group, insisting on my innocence and pointing out that it was my friend who had fled, but my pleas fell on deaf ears. It seemed they were all from a community known for their resilience, and they were not swayed by my appeals for mercy, including "Sorry, please spare me, enough, no more." After 5 minutes, they grew weary, and I was left unable to stand, surrounded by a gathering crowd. As I struggled to look up, I noticed Andrew among the onlookers, seemingly amused by my predicament. Left by the roadside, my bike remained untouched, but I was covered in bruises from head to toe, even bearing the mark of a heel stamp. As the crowd dispersed, Andrew blended in and walked away as if uninvolved, and I refrained from calling out to him, sparing him a potential second round of hostility. This ordeal taught me 2 valuable lessons. Always ensure there's enough fuel for at least 10 kilometers to get away, and metaphorically tie yourself to your partner to prevent them from abandoning you in a crisis. Within 3 months, Andrew had moved to Saudi, and our friendship endured. Despite recalling the times he left me in difficult situations, Andrew remained my friend, a bond one cherished to this day. End of Chapter 4. Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates on the next chapters. Thank you for listening and subscribing.